Hello everyone, welcome to Anime No Me, and thank you for joining us for another One Piece video. Throughout the work of One Piece, we thought it was impossible for anyone to obtain the power of 2 devil fruits. But of course, during the Battle of Marineford, we saw that Teach somehow managed to achieve this feat. Now, the way in which he managed to steal the power of another fruit is still unknown, but there may be more than one way to get the power of 2 devil fruits besides the way that Teach got his. This may even be possible perhaps through an artificial devil fruit, which has been discussed for a long time in One Piece, and there may even be a possibility that behind this method, people can obtain the power of 2 devil fruits without suffering any collateral damage or worse, death. So in today's video, we're going to talk about the possibility that Vegapunk may be able to create some new artificial devil fruits that would allow the user to have more than 1 devil fruit power, getting an incredibly great power boost into their hands, and how this creation could be possible. But before we head into the lab, if you're new to the channel, or even if you watched a bunch of our videos, we'd be absolutely honored if you'd leave us a like, or even subscribe and maybe leave us a comment letting us know what you thought of the video. It really helps us out and motivates us to make more content, and if you'd like to help us out in a bigger way, consider sharing this video or your favorite with a friend. Without further ado, let's get into this research. So my friends, these devil fruits are still a big mystery to everyone, and not even the characters in this story know the secret that these fruits truly hold. Something that's made a lot of people in the fandom wonder if there's an explanation and if it's based on science or even mysticism. The secret behind these fruits, of course, lies in the Void Century, during the events 800 years ago. These fruits seem to appear in a mysterious way, and we hope that in the future it'll be revealed to us exactly how it happened. In an SBS, Oda said that a very intelligent scientist will emerge in the future within the work to give us an explanation on how exactly these fruits came about and how they're able to give power to those who eat them. And the very person that Oda is referring to has to be Vegapunk, because he is the greatest scientist in One Piece, being able to create many different kinds of weapons such as the pacifistas and seraphim, and even seems to have been able to combine devil fruits with inanimate objects. Vegapunk was also the original designer that led to the research of the artificial smile fruits. But seeing that his research was not going to go where he wanted it to, Vegapunk decided to give it up and started doing some different research. The explanation that's been offered in One Piece is that these mysterious fruits somehow actually have a devil, or a spirit if you will, and when the person eats it, this divine or energy-based, there's a lot of different ways we could put it, but this spirit or soul or devil enters the body of the individual and bestows that power. But if a user eats 2 fruits, these 2 devils begin to fight and usually results in the death of the eater, because when these devils clash, they fight until only one is left inside the user's body. And during this internal battle, the user feels the collateral damage inside their body, causing them to lose their life shortly after eating the other fruit. Now, we've never seen this event take place, and it seems that no one's ever dared to try and eat 2 fruits to confirm if it's real or just a legend that may have been created by the world government, because we really haven't ever seen anyone using 2 fruits. There may be a possibility that this is indeed true, but there could also be a different explanation of why the user of the 2 devil fruits loses their life. As we just mentioned, it's said that there is a devil inside of each fruit, and it's not known for sure, but according to the world government's own words, the Zoan really seems to have its own mind, not necessarily being an evil kind of entity, but rather a living representation of the animals. So whether it's a dog or a cat or a lion or any kind of animal for that matter, it seems to have the will and the energy of whatever fruit it is from. Because as we've seen many times in One Piece, when a Zoan user transforms into their animal form, they not only take on the full characteristics, but the instincts and the drives as well. Now, of course, the user retains control in their own mind. The transformation just allows them to exercise their will in a complete animal form. For instance, when Kaido would turn into his full dragon form. But it's also been said that because the fruits of Zoans seem to have their own will or their own soul, we saw something interesting that happened with the Nika Nika fruit. When the world government was trying to take a hold of it, each and every time the world government thought they had gotten their hands on the fruit was able to escape in some unknown way. And the Agora say that this is due to the fact that the fruit has a conscience of its own. This confirms the possibility that there is something truly alive inside the devil fruit, and it makes us believe that there really is a living being in there, and not some kind of devil, but perhaps the spirit or the soul of that very animal inside the fruit. But after many years of thinking that it was impossible for anyone to have more than one devil fruit, we were proven wrong by Teach during the Marineford arc. Throughout our story, we saw that Teach hunted down this fruit, and the moment he saw it, he proved that he was even willing to kill to get this fruit of darkness. Sometime later during the same arc, Teach manages to take Whitebeard's life after he had been weakened by all the battle against the admirals and pirate allies and enemies that had stood in his way, and he was finally succumbing to his advanced age, not having quite the stamina he once did. After taking his life, Teach, in some unknown way, managed to obtain the power of the Gura no Mi, making him the first person, maybe ever, to possess 2 devil fruits in the entire work of One Piece. And speaking of our entire story, although a lot of the characters that we do meet in our story, we have to remember that devil fruits are in fact very rare and powerful. And even though there's a great variety in the world, they're still incredibly hard to find. And to get a fruit with an immensely great power, that's even more exponentially difficult. Knowing this fact, Dr. Vegapunk started his project to create artificial devil fruits. That way he could make anyone have the power of these fruits. But his research didn't seem to turn out the way he wanted. So the doctor gave up his research, and it was later picked up by Caesar, the scientist who ended up creating the smile fruit based on Vegapunk's research. But as we know, the smile turned out to be an epic failure of a fruit. Only 10% of the people who ever ate a smile fruit would inherit some random Zoan power. And the rest, not only did they still lose their ability to swim just like any other devil fruit user, but they lost every ability to show any other emotion than laughter, making it permanent, where even if they were in their saddest and most down moment, all they could ever do is laugh, which is a pretty sadistic twist if you think about it. But with this new group of scientists that have come together to form the SSG, Vegapunk may have taken his idea back up of making a synthetic devil fruit, and rather looking at making an improved version of a smile, and therefore allowing him to create the actual artificial devil fruit that would be far superior to the smile. Vegapunk has long studied the devil fruits, becoming the only scientist to ever be able to recreate a devil fruit, and can even extend the powers of a fruit because of his great knowledge of devil fruits. After all, Vegapunk was able to replicate the power of a fruit as demonstrated by Kaido and Momonosuke. Both have the same abilities, but Momonosuke's is an artificial one. Now apparently it seems they have the same exact powers, although Momonosuke is just a little weaker for not having had the same training as Kaido. During the peak of the Wano arc, Momonosuke was able to demonstrate Kaido-like power, being able to transform into a full dragon, as well as being able to use the Boro Breath, which is Kaido's signature attack, which was able to destroy mountains with just one attack. Now, we do have to remind you that Vegapunk did consider this fruit a failure, but it could end up being because of something as trivial as it was the wrong color. But think about it, if Vegapunk is able to replicate a mythical Zoan fruit, this means that Vegapunk could create new fruits based on existing ones, or even create artificial fruits in which they would be compatible with people who already have a devil fruit. Because this would be a scientifically created lab fruit, there's also really little possibility that an actual devil lives inside the fruit, which means that there wouldn't be a confrontation inside the user if they start to use 2 devil fruits, thus allowing Vegapunk to turn Marines into users of 2 devil fruits. These kind of fruits would give them the same ability that Teach has, but because it's an artificial fruit, there could obviously be consequences to using the power, possibly having their abilities of their current fruit reduced, or maybe it'll take away their ability to awaken the fruit, or even suffer the same kind of side effects like Smile that makes the user start laughing non-stop for the rest of their life. But if Vegapunk were able to manufacture these new improved artificial fruits, he could make Marines and even Admirals get the power of 2 devil fruits, enabling them to enhance their abilities all the more. But in order for these fruits to be possible to create, he would first need to obtain the original fruit in order to replicate it, and then he could go ahead and turn it into an improved version of this artificial fruit. And if this was possible, he might even be able to create an artificial fruit with the power of the sun god Nika's fruit. But something something we don't know about this is if it's absolutely necessary for Vegapunk to have the physical fruit, or if he could just use the cells of people who have the fruit currently. And these two possibilities might be right because Kaido many times was captured by the Marines, and we know that he and King were experimented on by the Marine organization. So while the world government had Kaido and King in their clutches, this would have allowed them to experiment on them and get King and Kaido's cells, or perhaps their lineage factors or their DNA, whatever they're going to eventually call it, giving them the possibility to create an artificial dragon fruit. So if SSG gets the cells from powerful devil fruit users, it could make it possible for them to get their powers. And like I just said, this includes Luffy, who currently has one of the most powerful devil fruits in the world. But we also have to remember that this power is based on the user's creativity and also his compatibility with the fruit itself, besides the fact that one would have to awaken the power of this fruit to obtain this full potential. Because the thing that makes the Nika Nika fruit so ridiculously powerful and making it possible for Luffy to defeat someone like Kaido is because of the immense freedom that the fruit provides. So even if somehow Luffy's fruit were copied, the person who had it, or the entity or organism that had it, would not ever be able to use the full potential of this fruit because they would have to exercise immense creativity to utilize the elastic ability and features of this fruit. But Luffy's fruit aside, we also have to acknowledge the fact that there are several devil fruits that do not need their awakening to already be incredibly powerful. And this new generation of pirates, and even some of the Marines, have incredibly strong fruits. And if the SSG could create several of those fruits, it still means that it would be a game changer in terms of what would happen in the world of One Piece. So for now, we're going to have to wait and see what happens. Now, the crew does seem to be nearing this research base, and so perhaps in the next several chapters we'll get a lot more information about devil fruits, and we might even get a glimpse of what Vegapunk's been planning in the background. But with all that said, we'd love to know what you think about it. Do you think there might be a possibility of adding in, say, an extra devil fruit to a person in an artificial way? And also, what do you think's going on inside devil fruits? Do you think it's a spirit or a soul or an essence, or do you think it's a part of the actual sea devil as we've heard in some of the lore? And finally, if you could have any fruit, what would you have and why? Let us know what you think in the comments below. Well friends, as we wrap up our video, I want to thank you all so much for watching the video all the way up to the very end. Be sure you comment on any themes or ideas that you'd like to see in future videos. And also, if you made it this far, give us a like or hit that red subscribe button before you head out to take on the rest of your day. I can't wait to see you all in our next video, and let's keep sailing this giant sea together. Take care.